Hello, Mark Crossfield here. We're hitting up today Ping i25 driver against G25 Ping driver. So we're going to give these two drivers from Ping a hit. Let's see what the difference is, if any, in the two. Now, I have gamed i25 a little bit recently, and I'm enjoying this club. We've got GC2 HMT on the floor. We're going to hit some real golf balls using Pro V1X's ball I game to get some real numbers on these two clubs to show you what these two clubs could do maybe for your game compared to what they do for mine. Let's check these two clubs out. Let's get stuck in. Right guys, i25 against G25, two Ping drivers. We're setting these both at the same loft, so I've got these both down at 9 degrees, so I've had to change. So both of these clubs come with changeable necks that allow you to move the degrees of loft by half a degree up and down. So I've moved them both into 9 degrees of loft. On the bottom side of these two clubs, you get this little kind of nodey bit stuck out the back for stability with the G25, which was evident. You saw that in the G20 range as well. Where i25, you get these two tungsten bars on the back, again for MOI for stability on miss hits coming through impact. Both feature a changeable neck, like I say. Both have that black Ping fashionable finish at the moment. We get racing stripes on the top of i25, which is Bubba won at the weekend just recently, and he was using racing stripes on his G25 actually, which is interesting. So it'll be interesting when G25 is turning into G26. I'm sure racing stripes are going to come, but we'll talk about them more as we go on. Shape of the heads down by the ball, very similar. G25 just feels a little bit more stretched out at the back, which does to me make me feel like it'd be easier to launch. i25, Ping is saying, is designed for reduced spin, so aiming it arguably at slightly better players, but anyone could use this driver, I think. And G25 is marketed from Ping as being for beginner all the way to tour players, and you've got Bubba using it and winning with it, and I've sold this driver, and other pros around the world are selling this driver to beginners as well. So definitely a real crossover. So let's hit the both of the clubs and see what they feel like. We're going to start with G25. Now, when this club first came out, I get good numbers with this driver. I was very close to putting it in my bag. Let's give it a hit and see how it feels. I haven't hit this one for a while, so I'm looking forward to this. Definitely down by the ball. It's a big head. It feels very confident, inspiring for someone who wants as much help as possible down by the ball. And like Ping say, that can be a tour pro down to a beginner, which I totally agree with. Everyone wants a bit of help to a certain degree. Here we go. Let's hit it. Okay, G25 makes a big noise. Big noise often makes you feel like it's making big distance and, you know, big gains out there. Let's give that another hit. Feels good off the face. I mean, it does produce good numbers for me, this one. I'm interested when we test it later on the launch monitor, how it compares to i25. There's a big part of me that feels literally looks between the two drivers rather than stats will be why I choose the one I choose out of the two. But we'll look at the numbers to confirm that. Let's give this another hit. Okay, it feels so good, this club, and I like I said, I was so close to putting it in my bag. I like the big sound. It does feel like it's sending the ball out there. Easy to launch, but it's certainly not going too high for me at all. Let's give it one more hit. Never that keen on this lineup line from Ping, these kind of two curved triangles that we see. And that was one of the things that put me off this driver, which is interesting, isn't it? I mean, it's simple as a look feature rather than an actual feature of the ball flight. Let's give it one more hit. And I've ripped that, and that is out there. Such a good flight. So there you go, there's G25. Definitely could see that one crossing over to many players. So what is the difference between i25 and G25? Well, definitely the looks. I do love the racing stripes. I think they're one of the coolest things that happened for drivers for a while. I really do like the racing stripes. Now, i25 comes with a series of shafts, both of these clubs do, but they've kind of swing weighted, so you can change the weight of the shaft but not affect the swing weight I think Ping market it at. So for you shaftoids out there, definitely getting some great options with all these clubs, but definitely i25 is advertised with some good shaft combo options. Racing stripes, and you get a slightly more cosmetic appearance in my opinion down by the ball with this club as well. Slightly less sticky outy at the back. That's my scientific term, that. Sticky outy at the back. Right, let's give this a hit. It's a very similar sound. Now that flight to me looks, like I say, I'm looking forward to seeing the numbers, like it was a little lower and a little bit more forwards. It'll be interesting to see if that is actually true. That's why we always test with the launch monitors here at Clifton, because looks can be deceiving, but definitely like the look of that flight. Let's give it another hit. Hit that one a little higher, but it's still out there, slightly drifting to the right, but I'd take it. So for me, between these two drivers, I struggle to tell the difference. Definitely looks, so shape ahead, but also it's those, I just love the racing stripes. I just really do like the racing stripes. I've played with this driver and I do use them to see lines and visualize. It does allow me to create shots in my head and shapes of shots by using these lines. Ping are definitely got to be bringing this out in all of their range of drivers soon, because I think they just do really work. And they're subtle enough not to be too scary for, I would say, the more traditional player out there. Let's give this one more hit and then we'll check some numbers out. Again, hit that nicely. So for me, not much in field performance on those two, definitely more in looks. So I prefer the shape of i25, which is why I would go that way a bit more. And I love racing stripes. I just think they look really good. I do want the pink one with the white racing stripes. Bubba's got the coolest racing stripes on his driver. Come on, Ping. Why don't you make that one more readily available? So look, let's check out some numbers. Real balls, Pro V1X is the ball eye game on GC2 HMT. Let's see if the numbers of these two drivers change at all, to see which one I should be putting in my bag if I choose to go down the Ping route. Let's check these numbers out. Right guys, numbers time again. So let's look at Ping G25. So carry 254, ball speed 150, launching at 13.7, so almost 14 degrees. Now if we look at I25, 255, so 1 yard in carry distance difference between G25 I25. Interesting, not much in that. 152 ball speed, 2 mile an hour more ball speed. Strike's going to dictate more that more than anything else. I25 launching at 13.8 to the 13.7. Interesting. I mean, I did see G25 maybe going a little higher, but really not. Peak height 33 yards with G25. Actually 39 yards higher with the I25, but you got to look at the data here. I got one at 27 yards with G25, which is just skewing those numbers slightly. So 38 my highest shot, where 41 averaging 37, 38. So my highest shot with G25 to my average with the I25 is pretty much the same. So those clubs really performing almost identically. 2,800 average spin with I25, G25 2,200 again. Lower spin in G25, but again, if you look at that first shot, 1,646 spin, really low in spin. That one just wasn't struck in the right place on the club face. It got decent numbers out of it though, which is what G25 is good at. So those two numbers for me very similar. A little bit more spin with I25, but I think if I hit more, I would get that spin pretty much the way I get most clubs. There's no reason for that club to spin more. If anything, it should spin less. But it's getting my desired carry distance that I would want. The racing stripes for me on I25 is winning all day long. If G25 came with racing stripes, I would consider it. But I also like the shape of the head of I25. So when those numbers are as similar as they are with those two, I know the spin is slightly different, but I would work a lot of that into strike. So we've got a high spinning one in I25 and a very low spinning one in G25, which is skewing the averages. But if you look at similar shots, they're performing almost identically, which is really interesting, isn't it? So, I mean, you'll find this with most manufacturers. The gaps between their clubs are very, very minimal. The marketing gaps are bigger, but the actual performance gaps between these two clubs are very, very small. Certainly for someone like me who does tend to hit the middle of the club a little bit more often. So for me, I25 over G25 because I love the look. Those racing stripes are going to do it for me. But I definitely feel G25 for more golfers looking for a friendlier, bigger head. That one presents friendly and big down by the ball would help them. So hard to pick for those two. I know what I would pick, I25, but it would be purely on looks. You need to go and try them, get fit, see which one you like the look of, and trust that as much as anything else. If the numbers come out the same for you, if you like the look and the feel, whatever that is, of one more than the other, go with that. You don't always have to look for data. Thanks for watching, guys. Post comments down below. You can hit these two drivers. I'd love to know, and we'll speak to you soon. So if you like what's going on here, don't be afraid to subscribe to the channel. Also thumbs up the video, post comments. Love to hear what you guys got to say. Let's keep it social. The more we talk, the more we share, the easier this game will get for everybody. So if you want to find me on Facebook here, you can find me on Facebook. If you want to tweet me, find me on Twitter here as well. Just follow the links, all in the description. Come and join the show, get active, get involved, get playing some better golf. Thanks for watching.